Welcome to another episode of Vendhan Show from Washington, D.C. It is a show for discussing issues, history, and heritage of the people of South Asia to the rest of the world. I'm your host, Adhan Vendhan. The name my parents gave me was part anglicized and part Sanskritized. So, for the purpose of this show, I prefer to call myself Adhan Vendhan. In India, people love to say, if the northern Indian state of Uttar Pradesh were to be an independent country, it would be the fifth largest in the world with over 240 million people. Within India, of course, it is the most populated state, spread over 93,000 square miles, roughly the size of the entire United Kingdom. Politically, the state of UP has disproportionate influence on Indian politics. Demographically, the state has one of the highest population growth in the world. Between 1991 and 2001, the state registered a 26% increase in the population, amounting to roughly 16% of India's total population. Out of that, about 79 to 80% are classified as Hindu for one reason or the other. 19 to 20% are Muslims. Sikhs, Christians, Buddhists, and others make up the tiny minority. The state's per capita income is less than $110 per year. As per the World Bank, the poverty reduction is the slowest in the country compared to all other Indian states. About 59 million people live below the poverty line, meaning they make less than $2 a day. The literacy rate in this state is 79% for men and 59% for women. It is way below the national average. About 80% of the people in this state can speak or understand the Hindi language. Most people, even in this so-called Hindi state, prefer their own regional languages instead of Hindi. Caste politics is a political reality for the state. There are political parties that claim to represent specific dominant caste groups such as the upper caste Brahmins, and then there is another group called the Yadavs that represent a large farming community, besides lower castes who collectively refer to as Bahujan. They are represented by another political party. There is a widespread literacy gap between these different caste groups as well. 80 out of 543 members to the lower house of the Indian Parliament or the Lok Sabha, and 31 out of 245 members to the upper house known as Rajya Sabha are elected from this particular state. Members to the lower house, the Lok Sabha, are elected directly by the people, while the members to the upper house or the Rajya Sabha are elected by an electoral college that is made up of elected state legislators, referred to as MLAs, or as in Member of Legislative Assembly. The state of Uttar Pradesh is enormously important to the national politics of India. This state is ruled by the Hindu Nationalist Party of the Prime Minister Modi for the last 5 years. A self-styled Hindu hardliner, Yogi Adityanath, was given the task of being the chief executive or the chief minister as they are known in India. This state seriously lacks economic opportunities for young men and women graduating from schools and colleges. The state lags far behind most Indian states in providing job opportunities. Yet, Mr. Yogi is a popular leader due to his religious appeal. Under Yogi's watch, the state was extremely polarized on religious lines. He used the religious identity of the people to drive a wedge in the society and consolidate his hardline Hindu support base. There is widespread rumors about manipulation of elections also. To make things worse, the apex authority to hold and certify elections in India, known as the Election Commission, is adamant about using a controversial electronic voting machines commonly referred to as EVMs. To discuss all this and more, today we have a prominent political thinker, Pandit N.K. Sharma, joining us from Delhi. Pandit Sharma is well known among the political class in Delhi. His father was a close advisor to the previous prime ministers. He himself was a trusted ally and a close advisor to Prime Minister Narasimha Rao from 1991 to 96. It was under Mr. Rao's leadership, if you remember correctly, the liberalization of the Indian economy to become a market-oriented economy from being a state-run economy was strengthened. Dr. Manmohan Singh was the finance minister in Mr. Rao's government before becoming a prime minister himself later in 2004. Mr. Sharma lives and breathes Indian politics. Sometimes his approach to politics could be unconventional. Welcome to the show, Pandit Sharma. Let's jump into the subject, and let me begin by asking a blunt question. You are very familiar with the local politics of the state of Uttar Pradesh. In fact, your great-grandfather was from this state. What do you know about the background and the political or religious ideas of Mr. Yogi Adityanath, who has been ruling the state for the last 5 years? What are his prospects for re-election, which will have an enormous impact in the next national election with far-reaching consequences to Washington and the Western world?
Now, you have given a very good introduction of one of the most populated state of India. And as you said, and I repeat, that the outcome of the electoral result of this state can influence the national polity of India in a big way.
Now, you said he represents a particular sect within, for lack of better words, a Hindu community. But is that all that he has for his political strength, or is he politically astute and an administratively capable person?
He was never in any administrative capacity before becoming the chief minister. So at least Prime Minister Modi was chief minister of Gujarat for the last 13 years before becoming the prime minister. But he became the first in the administrative post, though he had been the Gorakhpur member parliament for subsequent years, more than 1 decade, before assuming the charge of the chief minister.
Can I interject for a second? I mean, you said he is from the Hindu Mahasabha, meaning the Hindu Grand Council, if you will, to translate roughly. But that is not the part of the RSS, the dispensation, which of which the party, the BJP party, is a member.
No. But later on he joined the BJP.
But what is the relationship between the Hindu Mahasabha and the RSS?
Hindu Mahasabha was previously originated in India, and it is more older than the BJP, more older than the Jan Sangh, rather, because it was the Jan Sangh out of which BJP emerged in 1980. BJP came into existence only in 1980. Similarly, RSS came after a bit later stage, and the Hindu Mahasabha was in politics even earlier.
Now, the Hindu Mahasabha that you referred to is the assassin of Mahatma Gandhi, Mr. Godse, was from Hindu Mahasabha, wasn't he?
Veer Savarkar was also part of the Hindu Mahasabha, by the way. I don't know why they call him Veer.
Savarkar is one of the founders of the RSS.
Yeah, one of them.
It's true, but there is also, you have several attacks on the churches lately in the state of Uttar Pradesh.
You are right. Not only churches, even our fathers, even our nuns, they were not spared. I can quote so many examples on that. So the point is that on the administrative side, it's a big failure. On the economic side, it's a big failure. Providing the job, it's a big failure. They falsely claim that they have given jobs to 4 lakhs people. This is again a big falsehood.
Wait, say 4 lakhs is what? 400,000. 400,000.
Yeah.
They claim to have
Yeah.
given jobs for 400, but 400,000 jobs in a population of 200 million people is a drop in a bucket. How does
I would like to correct you. It is not 200 million. It is 240 million. UP population today is 240 million.
240 million. Okay.
Yeah. Out of that, 27% are minorities, 22% are the Dalits. Okay, and there are around 7% Jats. There are around 11% Brahmins, and their backward classes around 45%.
Can you explain who the Jats are?
They are mostly farming community.
Okay, so they are a separate caste.
Yeah, it is a separate caste. Unfortunately, UP is a caste-ridden society. Not only UP, all over India, we are a caste-based society. And why I am giving you these numbers? 22% Dalits.
Dalits meaning they are the outcast and the lower caste.
Scheduled castes.
Okay. Do they have a political leadership?
Yeah, they have a political leadership in the name of Mayavati.
The Bahujan group.
Mayavati was the chief minister earlier, by the way. She is chief minister, 3-time chief minister earlier from the BSP, Bahujan Samaj Party. So, but most of the Jatavs, even in scheduled caste, there is a division between different castes. So the most of the Jatav, around say 9% to 11%, they solely remain with Mayavati.
What about Mr. Yogi? What is his background?
He is by caste. He is a Thakur. Thakur are only 4.5% in UP. 4.5% in UP. Thakurs. That's the reason I was telling you. 45% about backward classes. And other backward classes, just like Nisad, Prajapati, Shakya, Rajbhar, and this Maurya, they constitute another around 15%. So Muslims 27%, 22% Dalits, scheduled caste, and the Jats which I told you, this and this other backward classes. Akhilesh Yadav is the leader of the backward classes, and Jayant Chaudhary is the leader of the Jats, farming community. They have formed a combination, and then O.P. Rajbhar is also with them. He is a big leader of the Rajbhar community. Then recently, around 15 MLAs and ministers from BJP, they switched over to Samajwadi Party. They are all from the backward classes. Prajapati, Saini, this Maurya. So what Akhilesh Yadav is doing now successfully, along with this new combination, that is not a fight between 80-20 as they claim. 80 means Hindus, 20 means minorities. He says it is a fight between 85 and 15. 85, 15 means upper caste, 15 upper caste. 85 is backward, and Dalits and Muslims. This is what he is creating successfully.
So the prospect of the BJP, even though they are in power, and both at the state and at the federal level in Delhi, what is your um, political calculation as to who has a better chance of winning this election in the state of
I tell
Uttar Pradesh.
you, if there is a free and fair election, I repeat, if there is a free and fair election, BJP can't cross even 100 seats out of 400 in UP. Why? Because UP can be divided into 4 segments. One is Paschimachal, that is Western UP. Another is Purvanchal, that is Eastern UP. Another is the Awadh region. And the fourth is Bundelkhand region. Bundelkhand region, there are 19 assembly seats. In the Awadh region, there are 118 seats. And in Purvanchal and Paschimachal, there are 266 seats. Okay? 130 in Purvanchal and 136 in Paschimachal, that is Western UP. If you go by the caste combination of these 266 seats only on Paschimachal and Purvanchal, out of which BJP won 198 seats last time. How many? 198. This time BJP cannot win out of this even 40 seats. Even 40. Because of this caste combination. Provided there is a free and fair election. What I mean to say free and fair election, you would be shocked to know even before parliament election, 22 opposition parties went to the election commission. We don't want election by the EVM because there is a charges of EVM manipulation.
What do you mean? What do you mean EVM? EVM, you are referring to the electronic voting machines. What is the problem with that?
Yeah, you must be noticing that most of your states and most of the European, most of the high-end countries, they have already abandoned the voting by EVMs. Okay, so 2019 parliament election, before that in January, 22 main opposition parties of India approached election commission demanding that we want election by ballot paper again. We have no faith in the EVM machines, but it was rejected. They went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court also dismissed their plea. Now I fail to understand, if the main opposition parties are demanding, why election commission is too much involved in this process. Because if you want to ensure free and fair election, the people who want to fight the election, main opposition parties, if they have a doubt on the EVM performance during various voting time in different states as well as the center, they used to push the button for, say, for hand, a symbol for Congress, or a bicycle for a symbol for Samajwadi Party, or elephant, a symbol for BSP. They pushed the button for that, but the vote was going to Kamal, that is a symbol of BJP. There have been thousands of such instances. Even the BSP,
Kamal means lotus, the electoral symbol of the BJP Hindu Nationalist Party. Like, if I can paraphrase what you are saying, is that when people, there have been widespread complaints from people claiming that when they press the button for a particular political party, whether it's a Congress, Indian National Congress Party, or Akhilesh Yadav's Samajwadi Party, or any other party, the vote is actually tallied for the BJP party. Is that there is an electronic voting machine which looks like a tablet, and there were lots of complaints, like the one that I had just explained, from the political parties. So the election commission decided to add a printer that would, when the voter selects a particular party or a candidate, and the printer will print the name of the candidate, and it shows for 2 seconds, and then the printed name drops into a box. Now, if you are literate person and want to look for that printout to make sure that the printed name is the same name for which party or the candidate that you are voting for, then you have 2 seconds to figure it out. Otherwise, you will not be able to find it. I asked this question to a former chief election commissioner of the country who was visiting Washington. We hosted him. I asked him about it. He says there is no such thing as electoral malpractice, that the electronic voting machines is the only way to go. This is in the West, we all believe, we are of the opinion that India is a democracy, the largest democracy, and America is the oldest democracy, and that India's the oldest democracy and the largest democracy have mutual interest, and that we should work together. But you're saying that the largest democracy is not so much a democratic country. You're saying that except for holding elections, there is no value for democracy in the country.
I give you another example. There was a Congress ruled state in Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh. It was a Congress ruled state. It was duly elected. Kamal Nath came to power as chief minister, led by Congress in Madhya Pradesh through the elections. Now what happened? They took out certain MLAs from the Congress. They asked them to join BJP, and then they resigned, and this ministry was destabilized. Similarly, in Karnataka, there was a joint government between Congress and Janata Dal, secular JDS led by Dev Gowda. What happened to that government? They did not allow it to function. Okay, so it was destabilized there were various audios, various videos coming out in which then Yedurappa was claiming that even various, don't worry about switching over. We will take care of each and everything. We will take care even courts. That is an audio, my friend. Audio was never disputed. And you would be shocked to know, for the first time in the Indian history, the 4 senior most judges of the Supreme Court came out in open, and they addressed the press conference for the first time, and they said that the independence of the judiciary is in a big question mark. We are not allowed to function properly. Our democracy is at stake. That is the statement by the 4 senior most Supreme Court judges.
Let me ask you in conclusion. We have crossed about a lot of time. We have discussed this thing, but let me ask you in conclusion. Do you think the next government in the largest state in India to be run by a BJP party or Akhilesh Yadav party or the Bahujans party, which is headed by Mayawati, or by a coalition of different parties? What is your prediction?
My assessment, not prediction, my political assessment is, if there is a free and fair election, the coalition led by Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav, in which Jayant Chaudhary is there, Raj Bhar is there, Moria is there, like that, and Apna Dal is there. So like that, there are 5-6 parties. There is combination led by Akhilesh Yadav, the former chief minister of UP. They will come back to the power with a massive majority. Massive majority.
There you go, folks. That's the prediction from Pandit N.K. Sharma in Delhi. We will know for sure what happens to the 403 state legislature elections to be held from February 10th through March 7th over a period of 1 whole month. Thank you, Pandit Sharma, for your time and analysis. Sometimes it is harder to follow the politics in India from here, but we are trying to look at the issues and developments from a Western perspective so it is easier for you to understand and relate. Thank you for watching. You're welcome to follow us on Twitter and Facebook or subscribe to this show on YouTube so you will know when a new episode is posted. Let us know what you think also, or what issues you want us to discuss in our show. Thank you so much.